I don't know if you can tell, but I really love this shirt. Hey everybody, it's Chainsaw Reacts back once again with another reaction for you guys. Today, guys, of course, we are continuing Wolverine and the X-Men. This is Season 1, Episode 16, titled Badlands. Now, as I was thinking about that title setting up for the video, I was trying to think of, has that word, Badlands, has it been used for something in the X-Men comics or something in the lore of X-Men? And I was trying to think, and I'm drawing a blank. And I don't want to look it up just in case it pulls up any spoilery stuff and it kind of ruins what this episode is about or whatever. So I'm not really sure, but like that name, I'm like, that sounds familiar, but I'm not sure. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe there's no significance whatsoever, and it's just the title of this episode, and that it's not really been a thing in the X-Men lore or the comics. I don't know. But anyways, so the show so far has been fantastic. Last week's episode, of course, was the Mojo-centric episode where Nightcrawler and Scarlet Witch were taken, and they were used as entertainment by Mojo. And they captured Wolverine and turned him into a hunter to go after them. And it was interesting because Scarlet Witch, like, made a decision that her father would have made, which was let Wolverine go, and then she went and still saved him. And I like the fact that instead of her not just being open and honest with Nightcrawler, because I thought they were going to go the direction of where she doesn't tell him the truth, she does. I think that was really, really good, because typical storytelling, she wouldn't tell him the truth. She wouldn't tell Nightcrawler what she actually did with Logan, like letting him go and then eventually saving him. But she admits it, like, soon after it happened, and I was quite surprised by that. But I think that's the difference in the storytelling here. They are not afraid to just have confrontation or have, like, a truthful, honest moment with these characters. Because this show could easily be more kiddie, and when I say by kiddie, I mean of where there's not really any stakes and that the story really doesn't matter. The story matters so much for these characters and what they've been doing so far. The story really matters. And I feel like that is what makes this show stand out in my personal opinion. And what reminds me of this amazing X-Men show, because the story matters to these characters. And in this show, same thing here. And that's what I really enjoy. So let's get into this episode and see what it's all about. Badlands, I swear. I think I know it, but I don't know exactly what that name references to. But maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I am. But anyways, guys, I'm excited. I'm really enjoying the show. I hate the fact it's only one season, but at least we have some of it. At least we do have a season of the show. So here we go, episode 16. Okay. What the fuck? Jesus. You just gonna kill Charles Xavier?
Maybe we lost them.
No. Wait. Okay, so are we jumping back and forth or something, maybe? Stealth suits. I'm about to say, is that a stealth suit? That's awesome. Peek over. I love that black suit. That's cool.
Download what you can. We'll crack it later. If this goes bad, get Forge out of here and don't wait for me.
I mean, yeah. Yep. Yep, can't stab them. Just gotta chop them guns. Chop them guns. What? Holy shit. So it's cutting back and forth. Okay. That was cool. It can heal like him too? Oh shit. That's ridiculous.
Gotta move, people. What is this? The Badlands. No one goes there.
Okay. Okay. So I wasn't crazy. What's in the Badlands?
Protocol overruled. Proceed.
Never mind. Master Mold made it a decision. An override. What the fuck is that? What is this electrical storm thing? Metal. Metal? Is it Magneto? What the hell is going on? Is Magneto still alive?
You're staying, though.
You're staying. We don't need you. Oh boy.
I want you hiding here until I come back for you. Got it?
What about...
I mean it, Forge.
I thought you were unbreakable because of some mutant ability. Turns
No.
out your bones are just coated in metal. I guess... adamantium. What really intrigues me, however, is your rapid healing ability. The injuries you sustained would have been fatal to anyone else. You and I, Wolverine.
Sorry. That was just funny. That was cool. Yep.
Next time, let's just trash the place. It'd be a whole lot easier.
Kind of remember telling you not to wait for me. Kitty, I can explain.
Later.
What do you want to do over here?
Upside down. Yeah, he's upside down. Is it really him though?
My father is dead.
Lorna, what's happened to you?
Whoa.
Lorna,
I am Polaris now.
you're all alone.
That's Polaris.
Do not talk to me as if you care.
Exactly. Exactly. I was like, come on, man. Come on. Oh. Oh, it's gonna go right back on. Yeah. Oh, never mind. Dang. What are you gonna do? Wait. There you go. Let's say it's gonna ricochet. Whoa. Oh, okay. Showing what happened, I guess, to Genosha.
Why is this happening?
I'm so sorry.
Well,
It wasn't supposed to be this way. I failed you.
they lost.
I failed all of us.
Wow. They actually showed that. Wow. It sucks. I feel bad for her.
Lorna, I'm so very sorry. I'm working on a way to change it all.
Yeah.
Undo what has been done.
So far, they've done pretty solid.
Back to the way it once was. Don't give up on us.
Don't give up on the dream. Holy shit. Wow. Wow.
Lorna is not a soldier.
No.
Magneto knew that.
Yeah, that's probably why.
He wanted her to see only the dream, not the war. If they can adapt to fight like us, we may very well lose.
Yeah, you'll lose. There you have it, guys. Episode 16, Badlands. I really enjoyed this episode. Obviously, it was a great, great episode. What I liked about it, too, was that it jumped between the two timelines, the present and the 20 years in the future. And they were cutting back and forth. And they weren't, like, always telling you, okay, we're jumping back in present, we're jumping in the future. It was just like, you know by now who these characters are, who are in the future, who's in the present, and all that kind of stuff. And what I liked is that it was like tying into things, because the opening is 20 years in the future. They're running away from this new type of sentinel that is really dangerous and hectic. And then right before the intro starts for the actual show itself, the Wolverine and the X-Men intro, the claws pop out of that new sentinel, that whatever type of sentinel it is. I don't think they gave it a name, but the claws popped out. What? And it ties into Wolverine being captured at some point. Because, I mean, he was captured in the episode, but I don't think that's how they were able to figure out how to give these Sentinels claws or whatever. I feel like when he's indefinitely captured in the future, whenever that is, and he's no longer seen again, that's when the Sentinels can take those abilities and those healing abilities as well. It wasn't just the claws, it was the healing abilities as well. That was really crazy. Some great action in the episode, and within the present timeline, we had Wolverine, Kitty, and Forge going to this location where they're building on Sentinels, and they weren't going in to destroy the place because it'll slow them down. The idea was to get information on what Master Mold is and what this whole operation is, and then figure out how to stop it. And when I say stop it, because the more I think about it, it's like if they were to shut down and destroy Master Mold and destroy this whole process, they'll just find a way to bring it back again. Like, they'll find another way. So they would have to continue to shut down other versions of Master Mold or versions of what Master Mold is that creates the Sentinels. And they would have to keep doing that over and over and over, because once you create the hardware and the program and the idea behind it, you're going to store it somewhere. So you're going to have that information, unless they completely destroy all of it and take out the people who know the information. Then they could, like, I don't know if there's like a real way to stop it. You know what I'm saying? So Wolverine, of course, gets captured. We had that one scientist guy who we've seen before working on Sentinels and stuff. He's quite surprised by the adamantium, and he thought that was like a part of his mutant gene, like that part of his ability. And no, it's just adamantium that was adapted and added to his skeletal being, and the healing and everything, and the claws. He was quite fascinated by all that, and that one Wolverine just yells in his face. And what I liked about this too is that Kitty, she's obviously younger than Wolverine. She seems like she's younger than Forge, yet she's acting like the mother to both of them, because they're both getting into trouble or situations. She has to go save them. I mean, literally, Wolverine says, okay, if there's a situation, take Forge and run. Do not wait for me. Do not, just go. She didn't listen. She left Forge in a truck with those guys, and they brought him in and put him in a cell, and she immediately breaks him out. Like, seriously, pulls him out. It was just really funny to see that. But and the stealth suits too. That was really cool to see them having stealth suits. I mean, Wolverine's stealth suit was freaking awesome. That was so badass. It reminded me of I forget what run it was in the comics, and I believe they covered it in the 90s animated X-Men show as well. But it was the black and gray or black and silver suit. I forget when they had that suit in the comics, but it was really cool to see it, like a version of that. It was pretty close, but it was really, really cool. The future stuff I think was the most interesting, because we're seeing more of the outcome of the events of what takes place within the timeline, and they're trying to fix. And they come across the Badlands, which I'm like, okay, so maybe there's something involved with the Badlands, maybe in a bad future of the Sentinel stuff. So maybe that's where the word comes in. And I'm trying to remember. But the Sentinels before were not to go into the Badlands. And the reason why is because Polaris is there. Not Polaris. I always thought it was Polaris. Maybe I have just been mispronouncing it wrong. I think I've heard other people say Polaris as well in terms of pronouncing her name. But it's Polaris. I think Polaris was in Polaris, the character was in what was it called, that one, The Gifted, I think. So maybe they called her Polaris there, but apparently in this iteration they're calling it Polaris, so maybe that's the correct term. I don't know. But the reveal that she's alive, and that her father Magneto sent her down into like a lower level thing, and when she finally got back up, everything was destroyed, everything was gone. She watched her father, and I'm surprised they showed that shot. Even though it was far away, you didn't see like a burning body or whatever, but you saw where he was standing there, and the fire came in and overtook where he was standing, showing not, in the gory details, but showing he was burned alive. He was burned alive. Brutal stuff. And now she's out there in the Badlands, and she's destroying everything out there. Anything that comes into the Badlands in terms of metal, and I was like, oh my God, is Magneto alive? But revealing, I think it's more interesting that his daughter, and not even Scarlet Witch, his other daughter, was alive. Interesting. And the quote from Professor X about, because I said Cable, Bishop's like, we could have used her at the end of the episode because she destroyed all the Sentinels like nothing. But Professor X said she's not a warrior, she's not a soldier, and her father only showed her the goods in life, the good things in life, and didn't want to show her the war. Like, wanted to show her the peace and not the war. Like, basically, he didn't really introduce her to that. So keeping her kind of hidden away from everything. I mean, because remember in last week's episode, she came up and asked Magneto, her father, about her sister. Where's Scarlet Witch? Where's Wanda? And he was like, don't worry about it. And he was worried about it, but he didn't want her to worry. And so they kind of set that up a little bit within last week's episode. That was pretty interesting how they tied that more into this one. See, story, characters matter. That's what I'm trying to say. This show, man, it matters. And I feel bad for her. I really do, because she was trying to believe in her father's dream and was believing in him. And now everything's gone, and now her father's gone. And she's like, and Professor X says, don't let his dream die. His dream is still inside you. Like, what he wanted for mutants and what he wanted for all mutants to be free, like, that can still be a thing. And he was telling, like, I'm trying to fix it. It's not going to be easy, but I'm trying to fix it, It was intense stuff. Like I said, some great action, crazy new Sentinel designs, and I hope Polaris does show up again in the future, because she's very helpful, but I think she's too overpowered, and maybe that's why they kept her in the Badlands, because if she was with them all the time, she would be destroying all the Sentinels like they're nothing, because she destroyed all those like they were nothing. So maybe that was like, okay, we're going to show you a very overpowered mutant that can take out any of these Sentinels like nothing, but there's a story purpose why she can't. She's not fit for all this, and she is just out there basically in her own tomb. She's like basically just in her own world. Tomb is the right word. But you get my point. She's in a very bad place, and it would just be too simple if she was out there. But then again, I think to the point, Master Mold might create Sentinels that can adapt to that shit. Because if you remember I'm trying to think if they did it in the comics. I know they did it in the movies of X-Men Days of Future Past. They had Sentinels that adapted to anything. They adapted to any type of material or any type of mutant ability. They were able to adapt. So I don't know. So maybe that'll happen. Who knows? It gets, because they were already showing the adaptation of that one type Sentinel having the claws. So they may end up doing that too in the show. Who knows? But really enjoyed this episode. I'm loving the show. I am loving it, and I hate the fact that it's getting closer to the end. I really hate it. But what you guys think of this episode? I'm curious to know your thoughts, guys. Whatever thoughts you have about this episode of Wolverine and the X-Men, let me know in the comments below. I will talk to you guys soon. Peace out.